This is the Sports Choice, presented by Junk Be Gone and Renewal by Anderson. Now, your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome back into a live version of the Sports Source today. Happy to have you with us. We have a jam-packed show, as a matter of fact. We got a lot of Vols football, Vols basketball. We're going to talk about the all-sports race. We're going to talk about some recruiting, on and on and on and on. Lots to catch up on with a good panel today. Let's dive right into our first segment. It is brought to you by our friends at Renewal by Anderson. Incredible savings all month long. Save $269 on every window they have. Save $879 on every patio door that they have. And get a free upgrade to their Smart Sun Glass. Free. Absolutely free. All that with financing. You pay nothing for 2 whole years. Renewal by Anderson, RBAKnoxville.com. You see the phone number. You see their address if you want to drop by their showroom. Renewal by Anderson. All right. I want to welcome in our panel today. We have Bob Hodge. We have Josh Ward. Right here we have longtime sports writer Bob Hodge. And then from WNML, the Sports Animal, we have Josh Ward, Jimmy Hodge, Vince Ferrara. It's kind of the 990 show down here, the 99.1 show down here. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone out there. To our DirecTV viewers who are tuning in via Facebook Live and YouTube, thanks for doing so. Since I got into the business 25 years ago, actually more than 25 years ago, I've been through a lot of these television ownership group versus cable satellite provider fights. They happen from time to time. Usually they're fixed pretty shortly, and hopefully this one will be too. But thanks for tuning in over the internet today. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk football. That's what Philip Fulmer did this week on a Memphis radio station when he said, and let's go to the quote machine right here, "I can't even imagine Tennessee not expecting to be in a bowl. We have to do that. Everybody here expects us to be better. If they don't, they're probably at the wrong place." I think that's perfectly honest. I think it's correct. I think it's the right answer. Does that answer put any more pressure on Jeremy Pruitt than was going to be there anyway? You think so?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, your athletic director and a Hall of Fame coach at some point comes out and it's got to be a bowl game. Everybody expects it. Anything less, and I know he didn't mean it this way, but you probably shouldn't be here. You can read that a couple of different ways, or it should be someplace else, however it went. So yeah, I think it does up the pressure a little bit in your second year with a lot of unknowns about this football team.
I would say no, because I would say it offers the reminder that the pressure's there, because you're going into year two. You go into year two at a major college football program, which Tennessee is in the SEC, in a year where Florida has a second-year coach, A&M, Mississippi State, which comes to Knoxville, by the way. Those coaches all have big pressure as well. You didn't go to a bowl game in year one. If you don't go to a bowl game in year two, whether Philip Fulmer makes that comment or not, a lot of Tennessee fans are going to be really unhappy at the end of the season.
Guys, what do you think?
I think it does add to the pressure, because if you don't, then what's the alternative? If you didn't get to a bowl game, then people are like, well, wait a minute, is this the right guy? So I think from that perspective, then that even puts more pressure on year three, in my opinion. Or wait a minute. Was this past year
year zero? That's right. Yeah.
So
didn't even count. Really.
However they want to count it, but yeah, I think it does, because I think if they don't get to bowl game, then all of a sudden, I think a couple things happen. One, I think some of the fan base is going to say, "Wait a minute, can this guy get us where we want to go?" Secondly, does that impact recruiting? Right now, you're recruiting a lot on hope. At some point, you got to recruit on results, and if they aren't there this year, I think that could impact recruiting.
Well, we're split on this as a panel, because I'm going to say no. I don't think so. I think the pressure's there one way or the other, whether he says what's true or not. And he did. All he did was say what a lot of fans feel like is, this is Tennessee. We want to win. We should win every year. We shouldn't expect anything less. And then it's a natural progression from year one to year two. So I don't think it really changes all that much for anyone for him to put it out there. And I don't think he's talking about Pruitt specifically. I think he's just talking about anyone involved in the program should have that highest standard.
I agree with that part.
Yeah.
I just disagree with the rest of it.
Yeah, I think I probably agree a little bit more with Vince and Josh, but we are splitting hairs here. It's kind of a nuanced take. I don't know that there's going to be any more pressure because of this. I think there was pressure to get to a bowl game in year two anyway. But still, if he doesn't, I think what it does, and this would lead toward Bob and Jimmy's point, if he doesn't get to a bowl game, I think people are going to come back and say, well, wait a second. Hey, Philip, you said right here So that would be my question: is where are we going to be sitting with Jeremy Pruitt if, they got an easier schedule this year on paper. It's easier. You've got 2 new coordinators. You've now had 4 coordinators in 2 years. They keep spending more and more money on these coordinators. You've got a lot of people back. Your lines are still questionable. You still got to build depth, but you've had 2 recruiting classes now, one full, one that you kind of halfway had to come in and do. Guys have been in the same strength and conditioning system for 2 years. They've been in your system for 2. If you don't make it past 5 and 7 this year, if you don't get to a bowl, where is this fan base on Jeremy Pruitt? Are they going to be out quicker on Pruitt? I mean, even Butch Jones made a bowl game in his second year. Mm-hmm. Now, people, I think, believe more in Jeremy Pruitt than they did Butch Jones coming in simply because of his background. But if he didn't make a bowl game his second year, where are we in terms of what that fan base is saying?
Hot seat.
For year 3?
Yes. Going into year 3?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's where the pressure is. If you're on the hot seat after a second year, right, I see that as additional pressure on you.
But that happens whether Philip Fulmer has that quote in Memphis or not.
Well,
If you look at his quote and he says, we're going to be better. Well, if you look at the coaches hired, I think you can make the argument, they should be better. Yeah. If you look at the players, I'm sorry. Until you show an offensive line that can block anybody, until you've got a defensive line, these guys most of them didn't play a whole lot last year. I think you're good on the backside of your defense, but the front end doesn't look good. So to sit there and just say, we're going to be better, I can make an argument that maybe you won't be.
I remember an athletic director at Texas A&M saying Kevin Sumlin winning 8's not good enough, and when he won 8, he got fired. Now, I'm not saying they're going to fire Pruitt.
Right.
I'm just saying that I agree with what Fulmer said. I just think there's more pressure on Pruitt in year 2. Right. In part because your athletic director's out there saying you should be better.
I also think there's some internal pressure. Maybe they wouldn't use the word pressure to describe it, but Jeremy Pruitt's expectation for himself and for Tennessee is more than just going to a bowl game.
Right.
And you get back into it. If they don't make a bowl game this year, I don't know. There were points last year where I don't think he handled the losing well. We went into that. That was the big question going in last season. How's he going to handle getting kicked in the teeth when he hasn't been kicked in the teeth since he was a peewee player, probably? There were times he didn't handle it well. So I also wonder, what are the relationships? What's the mood inside that building? If they don't make a bowl this year, what's he like behind the scenes?
And not pleasant.
Well, I've heard that. So I wonder how pleasant would he be after a second year, and how willing to work with him would the people behind the scenes be? Interesting deal. It's hard to believe they wouldn't make a bowl this year, but we'll talk about that next when we talk about the over-under for wins. ESPN and their goofy FBI computers that say Tennessee's the 15th best program in the country. Well, now they've come back and said, they'll win about 7 games. Okay, we'll discuss that. Are they right about Tennessee's over-under? Come on back.
McLean's Painting, Knoxville's #1 painters since 1999. We turn your dream home into your reality. Visit McLeansPainting.com or call 769-8134 to set up your free estimate.